What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Remote Front Office channel. If you guys are new here, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, turn notifications on. 3 days a week, we are slowly approaching the NBA season. One other thing is, as 2K24 is finally around the corner, thank God, the gaming channel will be coming back to an extent. I'm not sure all of what it will end up being. I don't know if it'll just be VODs or if it'll be maybe some broken down things, maybe different TikToks I upload will get thrown on there. But make sure to go give that a look. It is One Chains Gaming on YouTube as well and on TikTok. Trying to grow that channel back as well, as it's been a little while. But today we are here to discuss the Cleveland Cavaliers offseason. I think a team that regular season wise exceeded and or met most people's expectations. And then in the playoffs, we kind of saw the issues with their current lineup construction, if that makes sense. But let's go ahead and get into the players that this team lost this year. And then we'll kind of cover a little bit else as we get into it. So the first name is Danny Green. He is still a free agent. He's one of those guys that I expect kind of like maybe either A, retires in like December, or maybe gets picked up in like October, November once teams kind of realize what they have on their rosters, as well as if any injuries happen. That would be kind of when I expect him to get picked up. Robin Lopez is now a Milwaukee Buck. He went to go play with his brother. Not necessarily a big loss for this team by any means, but definitely just kind of that veteran presence on your bench. Guy that can play center minutes when you need him to, fills his role well, understands his role. Just really a good vet, honestly, that this team needs. Raul Neto is still a free agent. I don't think they need him just because of the amount of point guards currently on the roster. I think they're okay there as far as just they have so many ball handlers as is. I don't think adding him was necessarily a necessity to keep around. Cedi Osman got traded to the Spurs. This is more so for cap relief, and with them bringing other guys, it'll make more sense. That we'll get into here in a little bit. But was a solid bench player for him. Kind of surprised that he left, but I understood it once they made the necessary moves. I wouldn't be surprised if he has a fairly solid year in San Antonio. Lamar Stevens was also a part of that Spurs trade, but is now waived, so he is technically a free agent. Again, more of an end-of-the-bench guy, not necessarily somebody that had to be on this roster, but was just kind of some wing depth at the end of the day, right? Dylan Windler ended up signing to the Knicks. Again, just a lot of wing guys coming in, coming out. We'll cover all of that here in a second. But not necessarily starter quality guys, but guys that were just in the rotation and have either been let go of in order to make room or have been traded somewhere else or to make room for the new additions to this roster. They drafted Amani Bates. He looked pretty solid in Summer League. He was a guy that I think before college happened would have been a for sure lottery pick. But then his college years kind of happened, and everybody's not really sure what to do with him. We're not sure if it's a character issue. We're not sure if it's just he was in a bad system issue. But I saw some good things out of him in Summer League. It's more so of can he continue that, and can he hold himself accountable off the court in order to grow his game, right? So he's not just a scorer, but he has his playmaking, defense, etc. Right? Ty Jerome came over from the Warriors. Again, just kind of a guy that's been in the league, been on a couple of teams. He was with the Warriors last year, so just having that knowledge and that playoff experience with him to help this team, I think, is a good addition. Damian Jones, they brought in from Utah. I understand it. I mean, bench center role, probably like a 10th to 12th man. Don't expect him to get a lot of playing time, as I wouldn't be surprised if they end up moving Evan Mobley to play more of kind of like the backup 5/5 in crunch time moments, just after the lack of shooting, the lack of spacing this team had last playoffs. Georges Niang from the Sixers, I like it. Good shooter, good height, a wing player, right? That's just what this team really, really needed. My one concern for him is defensively. I get a little nervous for that, as he's not a top-tier defender, And as we'll get into with my thoughts on the team, kind of what they needed was that 3-and-D guy that can play the 3. And then the other guy they signed is Max Strus. I like the idea of getting him from Cleveland because this team, when you have Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland, and then you have Mobley, you have Jared Allen, you are kind of limited in what you can do. I don't love the idea of Max Strus playing your 3, but maybe if, say, Donovan Mitchell's in foul trouble, you can slide him in next to Garland at the 2, or if Garland's in foul trouble, you can slide him next to Mitchell at your 2, and then you have that spacer that can come off of screens, double screens, pin downs, and just really shoot the lights out, right? And I think that's just kind of what this team was missing. I think that was the idea for Danny Green, but again, Danny Green's kind of past that stage in his career. So I think as far as the value got him for, was definitely a well-earned pick, right? Resign wise, they re-signed Karis LeVert. I didn't love the idea of bringing back Karis LeVert. I just felt like he was kind of repetitive for the guys they already have. He's not necessarily a plus defender. He's an okay playmaker. He's more of a scorer. Kind of likes the ball in his hands a little more. And I also just kind of wanted to see him go to a new situation. Now that he is a couple years off the injury, I'm hoping maybe he bounces back a little bit. But as of right now, I don't love this signing. And then the last guy they brought in is Isaiah Mobley. Again, kind of an end of the bench / two-way guy. Shows promise. He showed promise in summer league. Just, I wish he was away from his brother so he got a chance to shine and kind of do more of his own thing. But I mean, clearly they want to make Evan Mobley happy, and so they brought Isaiah Mobley back. As far as expectations for this team, here's the thing. They made a lot of changes forward-wise, right? Shuffled some guys out, brought some guys in. I don't feel like they necessarily addressed the problem. Because, again, I feel like you needed a guy with size that was a good spacer, that was a good defender. Has to be probably your primary perimeter defender, if not secondary. I feel like Donovan Mitchell maybe can take the primary role in some slots, but I think that you just needed somebody that was more of a positive on defense than what you brought in, right? I understand you wanted to bring in shooters, knockdown shooters, spacers, that if they are on the court, if you have Max Strus and Niang out there at the same time, and you're either playing Jared Allen, or Evan Mobley at center with Garland and Donovan Mitchell, I understand the spacing from that perspective, right? I get that. But having both of them out there, and then you are relying on this guy to be your second best defender, because Garland is not your second best defender just due to size and wingspan and a couple other things. I don't know if I like it, right? I don't quite understand it. I think I understand it maybe more so for a just throughout the season type of rotation. But as far as it's game 6 of a playoff game, you're in the fourth quarter, here's your final lineup that's going to be out there the last 5 minutes. I don't know if I understand it fully, right? Do I think this team will be good? Absolutely. These guys are all young, healthy, play a lot of minutes, don't really take games off. I wouldn't be surprised if they're a 50-win team again, right? I think they are probably still a top 3 team in the East. Maybe top 4. It just depends on the whole Harden-Philly thing as to whether they're 3rd or 4th, right? It's just playoff-wise they concern me. I feel like New York kind of unlocked how to beat this team, right? Evan Mobley's not quite there physically yet. Evan Mobley's not there offensively yet. Jared Allen's not an offensive threat other than a lob, really, right? So I think there are ways to beat this team, but I think they will be a really good regular season team because Garland and Mitchell is one of the best backcourts in the league, right? As far as a point guard, shooting guard combination, that's like an A-level lineup right there, right? It concerns me crunch time lineups and it concerns me playoff lineups. But that's my thoughts on Cleveland. Let me know your guys' thoughts down below. I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.